But like it's crazy. The photo is crazy. Like you can see him look at me.
Hmm.
Like, how do I have multiple photos of Minyungi looking at me? I
Like
don't know if you
eye
can tell,
contact.
but looking at me. That's crazy. Like he looked at me. And like I mean,
Hmm.
he did it multiple times, but like this was captured. Hi, we are.
Nuna Talk.
I'm Zara.
And I'm Sophia.
And welcome to the season finale of season 2. That's so crazy.
That
How have we
is
done two whole
crazy.
seasons, more than 45 episodes of this show? That's insane. And that's only episodes. Okay, there's so many more reactions and like other random videos that we've done this entire time. Shook.
Mm-hmm. But also, can we say this is one of the most important videos that we've ever done in this
Yeah,
podcast?
okay, crazy. Can't believe we're here for more than one reason. But in
Mm-hmm.
case you are not one of the people who has been following us for the 45 and 2 season long journey that we've been on, we are Noona Talk, where we are a podcast where we talk about K-pop, K-drama, K-culture, K-beauty, everything you need to know, especially if you're a Desi stan. But even if you're not, we welcome you with open arms anyway here on our YouTube channel, where we are there with our wonderful faces. But we are also on all podcasting platforms where you can do audio versions only. We're also doing a lot of short form content because I have a lot of short form content right now on our Instagram at NoonaTalk, exactly like it sounds. So you can follow us over there. Give this video a like if you're watching on YouTube. If you're listening to us on a podcasting platform, remember to follow so that you can keep updated with all the future episodes, because we will be back with season 3 very soon. Okay, yeah, what are we doing this week?
Why don't you tell us?
We're talking all about the AgustD tour and the concert, which I happened to visit. Yay! Two
And
whole
I
days
think
in Sugapore.
this is like a unique episode because this is technically what a phone conversation between the both of us would be, except this we are recording, which is most of our episodes, but this is like extra because I think you've really held back on like your thoughts. And we haven't talked since you've attended the concert because Zara was at Sugapore, D2 and
Ooh.
D3.
Yes.
Ooh, in the pit with Min Yoongi.
Yeah, no, breathing the same air, sweat in the same sweat. We were going through it over there.
Okay. So we've like talked about your ticketing experience and everything. So let's start with reaching the venue. Like go like step by step. क्या वो
Okay, okay.
day
So
one में
both
reach.
D2 and D3. So I had tickets for D2 and D3. D3 was also a little more emotional for everyone, including Yoongi, because it was his last tour date at all, like all over. Like
International.
yeah, after this he's only performing for 3 days in Seoul, and that's it. So I think D3 was a little more hyped that way. But yeah, I had standing tickets for both days. I was standing C and for D2 and standing B.
Hmm.
But honestly, the side of the stage was a way better place to be because I don't know what it was. Maybe it was because VIP was closer or something. But Yoongi came to the sides of the stage even on the other day, like on D2 as well. I noticed this and I was like, good. I'm glad I'm coming back for day 3 over there, because like he would be on the sides of the stage constantly, and also
Mhm.
like the sides both A and B. So it was A, B, C, and D like here.
Mhm.
But yeah, no, A and B had lesser space and lesser people. So like maybe 100 people. I could be very wrong with these like
Yeah.
numbers, but whereas C and D would have
Lots
comparatively
of
like
people.
400 people. So
Mhm.
lesser job. Like actually, honestly, this was something mad props to like Singapore armies, even though I know like there were not just Singapore armies. I know there were Malay armies, there were a lot of Filipino armies. There was somebody who'd come from Mexico, like
Oh, wow.
Chinese armies. So many, I met so many Chinese armies. Mad props to everybody because there was no jostling, there was no crowding. I'm sure, like at the barricade, it must have been a little more stuff.
Mhm.
But I was
That's
maybe
true.
4 or 5 rows behind the barricade, and I had space. Like there was no issues at all, which was great. So
That's good.
queuing began at 3:30 for both
Mhm.
days. queuing only happens for standing seats, so be mentally prepared for that. It does not happen for seated seats.
And
But I
what freebies did you get and give?
oh, I gave lomos that I printed out, and these stickers. Look at them, meowngerine stickers.
Tangerine.
Tangerine. There were a lot of freebies. Some people had really incredibly designed ones. There were these like Bora hair flowers and anything. But this is what I noticed. If it was anything beyond lomos and stickers, they went like that.
Yeah, I can
They
imagine.
came up with fans and everything, and they would post their location. And by the time I would even think about walking to the location, they would end up
It was
tweeting
gone.
saying, "Oh, it's gone."
Oh.
So most of the freebies that I received, which were also incredible, were just like Lomos and the variety of that. Some of them are incredible. Quality, they're still packed away. Like if I had them, I would have shown. I will
Oh.
show them on our Instagram. I have been posting every day, but I'll do like a better look at them.
Everything you got, kind of a thing.
Yeah, everything I
Mm-hmm.
got. So remember to follow us on @NoonaTalk for that. I showed up for queuing all on both days around 4:30. My queue number was 3,000 on day 2, 2,000 on day 1, day 3, which are relatively good. Like 2,000 is like
Hmm.
the best you're gonna get, because anything above that is just like near VIP only. It was
But yeah.
great.
But yeah, what was
Uh,
it like when you entered the venue for the first time?
Incredible, because first of all, Singapore humidity is insane, and at that point, by the time I entered the venue, I had been queuing for at least a minimum of 3 hours, like 2 3 hours. And you're constantly on your feet. Like you can sit down, nobody really says no, but like it just
Mm-hmm.
feels so much anxiety and nervousness. So I didn't
Hmm.
really sit down at all on either of the days. So by the time you enter the venue and there's wind and there's aircon, you're like, but yeah, the stadium was cut into two halves of like blue, and then I mean, I know according to the poster it should have been orange, but the light always just looked red.
But wasn't the
um
poster also red?
isn't it orange? And then there was rain sound for the entire time that you waited, with like water droplets on the screen. I
Do
have
you
posted this.
think they were subtly trying to get people to go pee before the concert?
Oh no, I think they were trying to get you to be calm.
And pee.
Maybe. No, I feel like rain sound wouldn't make you pee, whereas like something like a stream, like a babbling brook, would make you want to pee. I don't know. That's how it feels like for me. Tell me if you're different in the comments, but that's for me. But yeah, no, there was rain sounds, and that was really great, because like, oh, so relaxing, and I love it. I love to listen to rain sounds.
If you can see the rainforest behind Zara, you
Oh
would be
God,
like,
yeah. I'm a very like pro rain person.
hmm.
And he comes out in the most dramatic fashion. Please go watch fan cams. I have posted this as well. Like dramatic, like I can't explain. Like he gets carried out by his dancers to Hegem's like back track. Like when you listen to Hegem, there's a backtrack of just the
Hmm.
Hegem playing, and it's only that is that solo thing that he gets carried out and then laid on the floor, and then he just performs Hegem, and that's how the concert starts. And man commits, okay, he like pada lash ki tarah, like no
I'd say that's
breathing.
one of his like favorite stage poses. Like remember Seesaw.
Yeah, oh my god, that makes sense. But even when he's getting carried out, okay, like if 6 people or 7 people were holding me up, I would also be like, or like something,
Mm.
like nothing. He's just like,
He's like,
lash. He's lashing so well. But yeah, no, the concert itself was insane. Like I don't have words to explain how energetic Yoongi was, like especially on day 3. Like day 3, some like feral animal came over him, because before Dang started. So think of like the concert in maybe 4 parts is how I would describe it. So
hmm.
there's part 1, which is the intro. Then he does his opening ment. Then there's one part. Then there's a VCR. There's part 3. Then in which he does the whole, oh, this is the last song. I'm gonna go dramatic. where he gets carried out, and then the VCR
Hmm.
plays, and he comes back to do the encore with 3 songs. Um, so that's how I like think of the set list, 4 parts. And other than the VCRs, which are 4 minutes long, 5 minutes long each, there are two VCRs, or are there three? No, there's two VCRs. That's it.
Hmm.
Man is constantly on stage. He's constantly performing. He's constantly singing. He's constantly jumping, and he is like completely fine. Like you can tell, like of course there are parts where he takes a breather or whatever, but that's it. Like 2 hours is such a long time, and it
That's
starts
true.
dot on time, it ends dot on time. Like I think on day two it did end like maybe 3 minutes earlier, but that's kind of it. Did the water throwing every day, but on
Hmm.
day three, he poured it on himself first.
Oh, गर्मी लग रही होगी.
गर्मी भी लग रही होगी, but also like thought, like major thought behavior. And he
Hmm.
was wearing white. Like, I am a changed person. Like, I saw that so up close, like that entire thing happen. And then he raced across the stage. Like, he was one side, he poured water on himself, and I'm like,
Hmm.
okay. And then he ran right in front of me and threw the rest of the bottle ka pani on us.
That's crazy.
Like,
You've
anointed,
been Christian
baptized, yeah.
baptized.
Band were incredible. Like they were so good, and it was like, I mean, we've said this in our past episodes as well. Go watch this, where I'm just like, where we've agreed, like, live band Bangtan is just
Hmm.
a class apart. It was such a great element of having the dancers on stage, and like the whole, of
Hey.
course, romanticism of him being the seventh member for the dancers
Hmm.
was really great. And you could tell like the dancers were just very cute themselves, like especially during People Part 2. They
Hmm.
don't really have choreo as such, but they do this
Hmm.
thing where they are the people, so they just walk,
Oh.
and like whenever the
Oh, it's like
according to the
high art.
yeah. And they just walk around, and every time the beat like shifts, the key change
Hmm.
happens. They like do like a glitch pause thing.
Oh,
It's
oh,
really
that's so
just,
cool.
yeah, it's really well thought out. Day three, when Yoongi walked off after last, he didn't do his
Hmm.
usual like power caffeinated walk off
Hmm.
of the stage. He like didn't look, but he did like wave his arms and everything, like because
Hmm.
again it was the last day, and he
Hmm.
performed last like a man dying of thirst, like it as a woman dying of thirst. And but yeah, no, he walked off, so that was already like a very powerful thing to happen. And a lot
Hmm.
of armies on both days, I saw them like crying and being emotional. And on D3 I was walking out and I saw all of these people crying, and I was like, oh no. And I gave them like whatever freebies I had left, and I was like, oh no, don't worry guys, he'll be back. And like it's Singapore, he has been back. Like he is SG. And like I walked out and I was completely fine. I bought myself like a 2 liter bottle of water, sat down on the ground. I was like, oh, the crowds will disperse, then I'll like figure out if I want to take the metro back or something. I'm just sitting on the ground, texting you, texting my other friends, being like, oh, the concert's over, what a great time I had. I'm like, la 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 la, oh, look at those people, take your it's over. No way, no way. Like it came out of nowhere. Like I was just having a great time, suddenly started crying. And the reverse happened to me, where other armies saw me crying and came over and gave me their freebies.
Karma.
I
Positive
swear,
karma.
it was the sweetest though. Like one of them had designed the same like motif that he had on his shirt, like the flower
Oh.
motif. So she
Hmm.
designed it in different like color patterns, and she was like, "Oh, you can pick whichever one you
Oh,
want." And I was
that's
like,
so
"Oh no."
cute.
She was like, "Don't cry, he'll be
You were
back." And
like,
I'm
कल
like,
भी रोना चाहिए था.
yeah, man. She was like, "Don't cry, he'll be back." And I was like, I don't even know why I'm crying. Am I crying because it's over? Was it because it was emotionally overwhelming? Like, I'm still not sure what happened.
Maybe it was
But
tears
like,
of joy, like like a moving experience.
it was an absolute moving experience. Like this happened like 2 days ago, 3 days ago. At this point, I have like gone back and looked at a lot of the videos and photos I took, and there are just
Hmm.
parts where I see him like right there, like he's right
Hmm.
there, just standing. It's not even the performance ones. There's some of him just he's coming there to start the song, so he's just standing there and like looking out
Mhm.
at us. And that's just an experience I never thought I would have.
Yeah.
Like, one thing to think of them as performers, it's another thing of just
To
them
be
being
there.
like वहीं पे तो खड़े हो,
Yeah.
हम भी खड़े हैं, साथ में खड़े हैं. I think Thailand army started this, Singapore armies did this as well, where we did the OT7 chant for Life Goes On. So D2, he just enjoyed it, vibed. D3, he said thank you so much.
Oh, really? But
Yeah, so
also, wasn't D3 wait, was it D3 or D2, which was the day of the Festa
D2,
BTS?
D2.
Okay, that was D2, yeah. Okay. So,
Mm.
what were your top three songs? Like, not like listening wise, but top three songs that were performed in the concert?
Like performance wise.
Performance wise. Like, at concert, you were like, these three songs were the best ever done.
Oh, last 100%, because like that shook me. It's not even a song that I really listen to a lot, but
Mm-hmm.
both days the performances were insane. Burn It. Oh, and Seesaw, the acoustic version, like that came out of
Mm.
nowhere.
Yeah, that was like the first time after the first performance I saw it. I was like,
I know, it
Mark.
was beautiful.
Okay, between Dang and Cypher Part 3 Live, which one did he kill?
Day two, I would say it was but day three, it was Dang. Like Mata chad gayi wala vibe was Dang. Dang was when he like threw the water on himself, he threw the water on
Okay.
everyone. He was like racing around the stage. You know how like when dogs and cats get zoomies, it was like
Yeah.
that. They're going around in circles and just like being like
You know who's also a cat, famously. What is like one moment, it could be anything that like keeps replaying in your mind 24, like after the concert, that one moment has not left your mind.
on D3 when he sat down on the floor. So he sits down on the floor and introduces his band, and it's
Mhm.
always just a really great way for the band to interact with the audience. But where my vantage point was for D3, I was looking right at him sitting on the floor, and he does this thing where he just looks around. I mean, he looks around constantly at the audience. He's like constantly looking. But I think
Mhm.
because D3, because it was last day and everything, it was just very like looking. Like it was, I don't know how to explain it, but it felt a little more intense.
Okay. Okay. Cutest Yungi moment in the concert.
So before snooze happens, they play the Ryuichi Sakamoto part from the documentary. It's like the
Hmm.
10 seconds. And in
Yeah.
those 10 seconds, Yoongi is standing on stage every time. Like he's just standing there while the video plays in the back, and he's just in
Mm-hmm.
darkness. Um, but you can see him, and he like most of the times he's just standing there taking a breath. But on D2, I think he just turned around and watched it on screen, and he smiled and laughed when like on screen he was smiling and laughing. It was very cute.
That is cute. Thoughtiest Yungi moment.
Oh, the hip thrust for sure. On any day on day three, like it happened at my face.
The Cypher Part 3 hip thrust.
The cipher part three hip thrust happened at my face. That's
Yeah, I
definitely
saw that
funny.
video.
The water throwing on himself, like that was super unnecessary, especially when you know you're wearing white. Like we all know what happens to white when water touches it. That was thoughty.
Mm-hmm. Your favorite outfit out of everything that he wore?
Okay, so this is really great because I'm going to do like a review of all of his outfits throughout the days that I've seen, and from like daddiest to like the most like suburban dad, not like sexy
Mhm.
dad.
Okay.
But
Like
like
father.
absolutely. I think the best outfit, I really liked like the encore outfits because he just
Mm-hmm.
wears like his tour shirt with big pants. I think that looks really fun, and that's something I would wear. But the D3 Hegum shirt, like it's this plaid shirt that he's been wearing, which after like this point, like just under his armpits, has been tattered in like really like like a fringe tatter. So
Mm-hmm.
it's almost cowboy.
Okay. Favorite band member outside of Yungi?
The guitarist was very fun because
Mm-hmm.
he had like a purple guitar, and he kept pointing to the purple and pointing at us, being like Bora Hai, which I thought
Bola
was really
hai.
cute. And
That's
then
very
on
cute.
D2, he also had like a Chola Yungi era photo, like a photo card when he had like the dirty red short hair.
Yeah.
And he had stuck that into his guitar, and he like pointed towards the camera, zoomed in, and Yungi was like dying. That was
That's
really fun.
really cute. Okay, last question, and this you can use as a plug for making a reel, maybe. But the favorite fan cam that you took.
But during People Part 2, when the IU part is happening, Yoongi is, of course, not singing along. And what ends up happening is the audience sings along. And he mouths along, like, why? Sir, just gai lo na, aap hi ka to gana hai. But he mouths along and then just goes and like vibes with the audience. And it's just like a really fun moment.
Mhm.
Um, another one like that I really enjoy is after he finishes all the ciphers and all the medley that he does for the Bangtan songs. He does like a chit chatty part where he verbally, like, we all just chant "I love myself."
Oh,
And oh, it's such a powerful thing because like you say it as a part of the song, but you never really just
mm.
say it.
But best army outfit that you saw, or like most memorable.
Somebody came dressed as Techita. Like, I mean, the dedication. I mean, there were some people who were phenomenally dressed, and it was hilarious because you could tell they were
That's so
into it.
funny. Yeah.
They had the beard, they had the like rope and everything.
Yeah.
So D3, okay, D3 was magical for so many reasons, and this is probably why I cried. I think because like I got noticed by Senpai so hard. This so everybody, I mean, including me, like I have also taken videos and photos, but everybody was constantly on their phones,
Mm.
which now I realize means that you're not going to be vibing and dancing because then you won't have a stable fan cam. Whereas I would take like 10 seconds and then throw my phone away and then be like, dance, dance, scream, scream. And that meant that in my section, I was the only person jumping. Like, I initially I didn't notice this, but then I like looked
Mm-hmm.
around and it was just me jumping. There was some other people who like eventually got into it or maybe would do their
Mm-hmm.
hands, but I was
Mm-hmm.
physically bouncing and
Mm-hmm.
Yumi saw me. Ah! So like it, and the thing is, I know you're thinking Delulu crazy, but no, it happened like several times before I admitted that it happened, and I went yeah 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 burn it, and then did this, and the finger was at me, and then I also point. I didn't. I mean, I wanted to point back, but I did this. Like there was no cognizance in me to be able to point. I was like ah! But yeah, no, I'm so ready to
Mm-hmm.
go again. Like the way I'm just like, अब तो सीख लिया सब कुछ, अब तो पता है, चलो. That brings us to an end of a very long monologue by me about the August D tour. Um, remember to follow us on Instagram and here as well because I will be
Because Zara
posting.
has documented her entire journey from going, getting ready to go to the concert, to what happened at the concert, to what happened in Singapore, because there are also other fun things. So you're saying that in order to watch more August D first person POV, we have to follow Noona Talk on YouTube and on Instagram?
Oh, crazy, you've caught on. Yes,
That's great.
exactly that. Which means that even though this is our season finale and we are taking a very short, tiny break before we come back with season three, that doesn't mean content is going away.
Mm, that sounds
And doesn't
great.
mean that there are going to be big giveaways. Oh,
And can we
oh.
expect more K-pop concert content in the future?
One might say in the next 53 days, there may be something happening.
That's crazy. Okay, so I was Sophia.
I was Zara. We will be back very, very soon with season three. So stay tuned for that. Bye.
Bye.